got the bloodlust.
Me too.
I want to kill. Let's kill.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to The Bloodlust. This is your go-to podcast for classy broads talking horror since 2014. This is episode 290 of the program. Tonight we are talking about the newest feature from director Oz Perkins, Keeper, now in theaters. My name is Amy, I'm your fearless leader, joined as always by my lovely and talented co-host Kay.
I thought you were never going to invite me in. I'm here.
Sorry, that intro's kind of long, huh?
Yeah.
Hi. We're ready, aren't we?
We're ready.
Watched it last night. It's nice and fresh in our minds.
Fresh.
Ready to talk about a Cabin in the Woods movie. Single location horror.
Love it.
Yeah.
Cool cabin.
Oh my god. I'd love to have a cabin.
Yeah. I imagine that it's even more upkeep than our Ding Dang house, so...
Probably. I mean, it's upkeep in addition to our Ding Dang house.
Well, yeah, and like a lot of trees around.
Mm-hmm.
When I was living at Trisha's, I've never heard a tree fall in the woods before, but I did a lot there.
Really?
It's scary.
There's all kinds of scary wood sounds.
Yeah.
Foxes and such.
Yeah, nanimals.
But I'd like it, I think.
Weird ghosty spirits. I
Weird,
don't know.
creepy things that drool.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll get into that. But first, horror homework. Listeners, we're getting close to the end of the list that I put together for horror homework. We have watched just about everything on my list. And now I informed Kay this morning that we are going to probably start dipping our toes more into foreign waters.
And thusly, this will be my last podcast.
Kay is a little bit...
Goodbye.
Hold on. Kay is a little averse to subtitles, but we are going to, just like we did with black and white movies, teach them that foreign horror is valuable and
It is not
exciting
the
and where it's
fact
at.
that it is foreign. I'm not America first. It's just distracting to me to read the bottom, and I don't pay attention to what's happening on the screen because I'm reading, and I'm a slow reader. I'm not very smart, but I'm very
I think
pretty.
you're very smart.
Well, either way, you won't get all of my beautiful insights about carpentry and dates and things like that.
That's true. And
So.
I'll miss that,
Yeah.
but I'll muddle through. So anyway, listeners, I feel like it would be helpful at this point if you would write in and suggest some classics that we've missed.
Yeah, drag it out as long as you can. God damn it, if I've ever put a request out, forget the reviews. I don't care anymore.
I do.
Tell me some more classics that we're missing.
Yeah. You want us to watch the Hammer movies or like the Universal Monster movies? What do you want us to watch? Because a lot of those I haven't seen either. So that's why they're not on my list. So we would love some suggestions. You know how to get in touch with us. I'll
But
let
also
you know
write
at
a
the
review.
end. But also, yes. So let's go for our 2 horror homework movies for this episode, starting with 1973's The Legend of Hell House. This movie was directed by John Ho. He made a bunch of Disney movies like Escape from Witch Mountain and Watcher in the Woods, and he also made the car chase movie starring Peter Fonda, Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, which is a classic.
Was he involved in Snow White at all?
Snow White? Like the old cartoon?
John Ho, it's not the way we
Shut
go.
up. Get out of here. Oh, you. So this movie stars Pamela Franklin, like we said last time, who was also in The Innocents. That was her first movie. And it also stars Roddy McDowall, who you might know from Fright Night as Peter Vincent, the vampire killer. Tell us what it's about, babe.
All right.
Based on a book by Richard Matheson. Okay, I'm done.
The Legend of Hell House. We gather today in a haunted house that has been haunted for many years, but it is time to get to the bottom of it, and we only have a week to do it.
That's right.
Our core 4 are physicist Birkett, his wife Anne, Florence, a mental medium, and Fisher, a physical medium. Fisher already knows his house as he was the sole survivor from the last investigation conducted 20 years ago. Our level-headed scientist does not believe that it is haunted, so agrees to a seance on the first and the second night. Objects go flying, ectoplasm appears, the group is threatened. After the second seance, they become the Spider-Man meme, all pointing at each other. Barrett is accusing Florence of making objects target him. Florence says that she's a mental medium, and with everything clattering about, it must be Fisher because he's a physical medium. Fisher says that it's Barrett's skepticism that's infuriating the spirits. Anyways, spirits start in on Anne and makes her a little horn ball.
Yeah, she's throwing herself at everybody.
Making her a horn ball for Fisher. Well, and also Florence. She's trying to get an orgy started.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Florence finds an attic body and tries to set that soul to rest, but based on the cat mauling her incident and Anne making further sexy time advances, that didn't work. At this point, they do the smartest thing that they can think of. They split up. Barrett's going to a big old machine to flush out the electromagnetic radiation. Florence is now possessed by the spirit and trying to break the machine, but Barrett knocks her on the head. She regains consciousness and goes to the chapel where she's killed by a falling crucifix. Barrett blasts the machine, but it blows up in his face and he gets smushed by a chandelier. Fisher is taunting the entity and a stained glass partition breaks, revealing a hidden room. It was fortified with lead. That's why the machine didn't work. Obviously, but with the door open, it will. Bing, bang, bong, flip the switch, the radiation clears the house, Fisher and Anne leave the house, getting all the money to themselves, and hopefully Anne will finally get laid. The end.
So I read this book. It was written by Richard Matheson, who had also wrote the screenplay. He toned it down a lot. There was a lot more sexually explicit stuff going on with the wife.
Even more hornball action?
Yes. And a lot more like lesbian. She had a lot of lesbian tendencies, and the spirit taunts her with them throughout the movie or book.
Yeah, I guess there's only really one mention that she wants to get it on with Florence. Mostly it's projected at Fisher.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think of this one?
Fine. 3.5.
Just a fine?
Yeah, just a fine for me.
I like this movie. When I first watched this, I recognized part of the seance dialogue from a song.
Oh, that's fun.
A Sneaker Pimp song, I think, or another like electronic or trip hop kind of artist from the 90s. So that was cool when I first saw it. I like this one because it's sort of an updated The Haunting.
I didn't care for like the leaps. Like, oh, I'm sorry, when this building was built 100 years ago, they just thought, you know, in the future, they might try to get an entity out, so we must fortify this room with lead? I'm sorry?
That's quite a plot hole. That's true. That's true.
Clearly.
I didn't like the main guy and how pompous he was and
that's science, baby.
But
Stop
I mean,
it.
he was that character, right? That was a very, you know, the pompous, demeaning scientific guy who thinks he's smarter than everybody else.
Right.
Is a real dude.
Yeah.
So I like this one because it takes the science aspect. I like how kind of historically accurate the seance stuff is with the ectoplasm and the automatic writing and stuff. I like that kind of stuff.
Oh, I forgot about the auto writing. Yeah. Help.
Oh, wait, no. That's from The Changeling.
Oh.
The seance in this does not have that.
That's
but it
our
does
bad.
have ectoplasm.
That's our bad trying to do 2 seance movies at
However,
one time.
these movies have a lot of similarities like that.
Like a hidden room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, The Legend of Hell House. This one's rental only, but I think it's good and fun. It's not as gory or... It's not as atmospheric, I guess, as The Haunting, but the mansion is cooler looking.
Sure.
It wasn't a real place. They just built a giant facade for that place onto... Oh, no, that's also The Changeling. Never mind. Never mind.
I'm lost.
I'm going to be okay. I swear. They're so similar.
Yeah.
So similar.
Watch them together. Play them over the top of each other. See if they sync up.
Like Dark Side of the Moon?
That's right.
Okay. So, yeah, The Legend of Hell House. primarily known because it's easy to confuse with The Haunting of Hill House.
And The Changeling, apparently.
Yeah. All right, so let's go on next to The Changeling.
Sure.
This was a 1980 movie made by Peter Medic, who is mostly a TV director. He's done lots of TV shows. SVU is one of them. He's done Carnival. He's done The Wire, Breaking Bad.
Dun dun.
Is still alive. This is a favorite movie of Martin Scorsese, a favorite movie of Stephen King. It is also a big inspiration to Alejandro Amenabar, who made The Others, which I think is obvious when you watch it. The Others is that one with Nicole Kidman where they're the ghosts. Yeah. So, tell us about this one.
All right, The Changeling. We're thrown right into a shit show. John Russell is with his wife and daughter when their car breaks down. John gets to a phone booth to call for help, and there's a crash in the road and his loved ones are killed. He has to get away from New York City, so he moves to Seattle and does what any newly widowed man would do. He rents a 72-room mansion from a historic society. There's banging on the pipes every morning at 6 a.m. and there's leaky faucets and strange noises. He tries to bring it up to the Historic Society, but they brush it off. It's an old house that hasn't been occupied in 12 years. Not even Claire, who wants to bone him real bad, will believe him. John ends up finding a boarded up room in the attic. He walks face first into hundreds of years of cobwebs, not even putting his hands up to push them out of the way, truly unhinged. He finds a child's room with a music box that is the exact song that he composed last night. Spooky. Claire and John hold a seance to find out that the ghost is little Joseph Carmichael. He was 6 years old when his father Richard killed him. Joseph was a sickly child with no use of his legs, and Richard only got the family estate if the boy lived to age 21. He couldn't let the riches fall through his grasp, so he killed the kid, grabbed a spare from the orphanage, and scooted off to England. After they returned, he claimed that they found a cure for little Joseph, and he's all shiny and new. Fake Joseph grew up and is now a U.S. senator. Now that John is on the case, he must get to the bottom of it. Through his investigation, he finds a property that was on the land owned by the Carmichael family. He goes digging around and finds a small skeleton in the well. He also finds a christening medal. He tries to speak to the senator and gets stopped, but not before the senator sees the medal that looks just like the one that his father gave him. The senator breaks John's lease and kicks him out of the mansion and fires Claire from her position at the Historic Society. John gives the senator the medal and the recording of the seance. Claire goes back to the mansion to try to find John, but gets chased around by little Joseph's wheelchair until she falls down the stairs. John tries to talk sense into the little ghost boy, but he's 6 and he's throwing a tantrum, so he shakes the house and pushes John off over the handrail on the second floor and sets the house on fire. At the same time, we cut back to the senator who's comparing the medals, and it is far too much for him. He has a heart attack and dies. John and Claire make it out alive, and all that remains of the mansion is little Joseph's wheelchair and his music box playing amongst the ashes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Did you like this one better?
I did, except for the cobwebs.
You hated that.
I hated that. In what world would someone just walk face first through
Only
that?
when they're movie cobwebs and not real ones. Because you know if that touched any part of your body, you'd be like, I
would say, goodbye, creepy room. I don't care about you anymore. This is a rental. I'll have the house cleaners go up there first.
You could just close that door and never go back in that room and just live in the 72 other rooms or whatever.
Never pull down those shelvings to get to the door in the first place.
Right. I really like this movie. I saw it relatively late, even though it came out in 1980. I only saw it probably like maybe 10 years ago.
Oh.
And I really enjoyed it. I like how much of a mystery it is.
Yeah.
How you're trying to uncover the truth with him.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the sequences are creepy. I think little musical themes are always creepy. Little music box tunes are creepy. I like the ball falling down the stairs and then him going and throwing it in the water and then it coming right back.
Yeah. I liked that he was like a cool teacher too. He had all of his little, students come over for like jam sessions because why not? You've got a mansion.
Yeah, and you ain't got shit to do because your wife and child are dead.
Yeah.
I love George C. Scott. He's I first saw him in Dr. Strangelove, and I really love that movie. It's a very funny comedy. I recommend if you haven't seen it. And he's very funny in it, and he's very good here. And,
We like it.
yeah, I find this one really creepy. I really like the seance scene. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
I love the automatic writing in it. I think it works really well.
Yeah, I like the main character that he is, like, charming, but also self-deprecating when he first gets into the college. He's just like, oh, I have 22 people signed up for this class. You guys are all... You haven't joined yet, huh? You're gonna be tomorrow? No, you don't care about what I have to say. You just want to hear my music. It's very cute.
Yeah, this has a good screenplay and good performances. And I was thinking that not a lot of good movies came out in 1980, and so I checked because, as I said last time, it is the year of my birth. And The Shining came out in 1980, and Amadeus.
You listed off like 12 that are like very popular.
Yeah, so I was silly in saying that to myself, or to you,
Or to me.
or to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are our horror homework movies for this episode. For next time, we are doing 2 unrelated movies, not thematically linked like these ones are.
Bet me.
Well, if you can find a link between these 2, I will be excited to find it or hear about it.
Whatever. I don't care about making stretches. Make it work.
We are going to be doing another movie by David Cronenberg, the guy who made that one, The Brood, the one about the late... Yeah, you remember that.
Yeah.
So we're going to do The Fly. That movie is a remake of an old movie from the 50s that David Cronenberg adapted. It came out in 1986. It stars Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis, and it is on Hulu. It's very gross.
I'm just thinking about the babies coming out of those sacks.
Yeah. Do you know what The Fly's about?
No.
It's about a guy who makes a teleportation device, and he goes into it to test it, and a fly goes in at the same time.
No.
And so his DNA gets mixed with a fly, and he becomes a monster.
An annoying monster.
And in the old movie, it's just a person with a person body and a fly head, and then a fly body and a person head. But in the David Cronenberg one, because he's such a weirdo body horror guy, it's gross. His teeth fall out, his ears fall off, all kinds of stuff happens.
Shoot fly, don't bother me.
You're gonna love it.
I don't think I will, but
You're gonna watch it.
I'm sure gonna watch it.
And then we are going to 1992 to watch Bram Stoker's Dracula, starring Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, and Keanu Reeves.
I like Winona Ryder.
And I think you'll like this one quite a bit more. It's very stylish and cool looking. The costumes are amazing. And it's very dramatic. So I think you'll like that one.
I don't know what you're trying to imply here.
So Bram Stoker's Dracula is streaming on Netflix, and The Fly is on Hulu. So we hope that you'll watch those in the next 2 weeks and then join us for our next episode to discuss them.
Yeah.
Now then, let's start talking about Keeper.
All right.
Here we go. Keeper was rated R. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 39 minutes. It is directed by Osgood Perkins. It is written by Nick Lepard. Nick Lepard wrote... the only other thing I could find that he wrote was Dangerous Animals, which also came out this year, which is a kind of horror thriller about sharks that I saw. That was pretty good. It stars Tatiana Maslany from Orphan Black, Rossif Sutherland, and Birkett Turton. There's really only 2 main characters in this movie, Tatiana Maslany and Rossif Sutherland, and a couple of just extra people. But mostly it's those 2, and mostly just Tatiana Maslany while we're at it.
Yeah.
It was released on November 14th of this year. In Rotten Tomatoes, it is 51% fresh with critics and 40% fresh with the audience. And is still in theaters, though probably for not much longer.
Yeah.
Because after a week, it was already out of a lot of the theaters that it was originally in. So I don't think it's doing very well.
Yeah, it bumped us down to a theater that didn't even have reclining chairs.
And you know how Kay feels about that.
I wanted to flip the table.
Yeah. So Tatiana Maslany stars as Liz. This is a, like we said, cabin in the woods movie, a single location movie. She joins her boyfriend Malcolm at his family's cabin to celebrate their 1-year anniversary. But she soon comes to suspect that something is wrong with the place, and possibly with her boyfriend. She's having weird visions. His weird cousin comes over. There seems to be something weird between them, and he's very off-putting, and he's leaving her alone there. There's a whole thing with a cake that she doesn't want to eat, that he forces her to eat, like Guy does to Rosemary and Rosemary's Baby. That's the setup.
Yeah.
It's not super plot-heavy,
No.
like most of his movies are not. This was made before The Monkey, which came out over the summer, in Vancouver during the writers and the directors, or the Writers Guild strike. So he made it in Canada while things were not being made here. He just has to work, this guy.
Yeah.
He loves to work. This was his 3rd movie this year.
Yeah, who cares about time off?
And he's got another movie coming out next year with Nicole Kidman.
Well, God bless.
Yeah, also from Neon. What did you think about Keeper?
I don't think that it needed any more actors because this actress is 20 out of 10. Like, I loved her. I think it's very exciting to see an actress that is able to react when the focus is not even on her. Like, she conveyed so much emotion with her facial expressions when she wasn't even, like, the main focus of the filming. She did wonderfully. I really hated him by the end. So he could just fuck on off.
It's funny that you would say that because some of the reviews I read of this, they say the same thing about her performance and how great her reaction shots are and how she's able to convey a lot of shifts in emotion and what's going on in her character's mind just with her reactions.
Just little squints and stuff. Like, they're so small but so effective. Ugh, loved it.
She's a very talented actress, and I get her mixed up with Jessie Buckley a lot, and I think both of them are really good in the same way, which makes it even more confusing because they look alike.
Damn it.
So, Rossif Sutherland is Donald Sutherland's son, which I think I might have known at one time and then forgot. But I agree with you. I don't think he's very good in this. I think he's too subdued, and it makes him seem disconnected.
I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Because it's not like he's falling in love for the chemistry, for the love of it. He's getting someone, like...
Well, we're not going to spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it. He's just getting someone close enough that he can go to the cabin with them.
Right. And it does seem weird. Like, we don't know that much about either of these people at all. We just meet them as they're going to the cabin. And we don't learn that much about them. But just from the outside initial look at them, they don't seem compatible.
Yeah.
She's an artist. He's a doctor. He buys her this beige cardigan for no reason that doesn't seem like anything she would wear.
Yeah, you see her in the bath. She's got a bunch of cool tattoos.
Yeah.
Like, she's got, like... rings on both of her hands and bangles and like she's
an
cool.
artist. She dresses like an artist.
Yeah,
and
for
he
sure.
bought her a beige cardigan.
Yeah.
It does seem a little strange that they don't seem that compatible, but I guess it does make sense.
I mean, her friend is trying to say the same thing too. Like she's like, "What? This little subway rat's going to the country? What are you saying to me? You belong in the city. Stop." And she's like, "Yeah, he bought me a cardigan." Is it beige? I didn't even know that you knew the color beige.
What did you think about the opening of this? Do you remember how it begins?
With all the women?
Mm-hmm. It's from the point of view of someone else looking at women, and it's like it conveys with several women that looks to be in several different time periods.
Right.
The initial, like, blush of a new relationship, and then...
disaster.
And then, like, you know, just some kind of like silent unhappiness, and then it looks like murder.
Right.
And we see it just with these like several shots.
Snapshots, like they're not long scenes at all. Yeah.
I really liked how that was set up. I thought it communicated really capably the setup for the movie without telling us anything. I liked that a lot.
Something is afoot.
Something is going on.
Yeah.
And then, so it's not a surprise at all. As soon as they arrive at the cabin, or from the very time we see them, we know that there's going to be a problem.
Right.
And it's probably going to be, because it's a bunch of women, and it's from someone's point of view, so we assume it's...
And he's taking her to his cabin, so yeah.
So it's not about, oh, is he going to be a bad guy? Is he going to hurt her? It's how. Yeah. And with most horror movies that are, two-handers with a man and a woman, that's...
And in life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably the husband.
This has the same cinematographer as his other movies. I think all of his other movies. This guy, Jeremy Cox, who I think is really good. And the same editing team. And I think that this movie, like his other movies, is strongest visually.
It's very pretty.
It's very pretty. There's a lot of great transition shots. There's one that Park Chan-wook would be so proud of, this shot of her when she's in the bathtub, and they transition her in the tub with the river that's always very kind of strong and powerful rushing by, and they transition it. It's really good. I think we get more information about the couple's relationship visually through the way that the shots are composed than we do from the script.
Sure.
I think the script is pretty weak. I find that I can tell when I start watching an Oz Perkins movie whether or not he wrote it. And I could tell that he didn't write this one right away.
Yeah, I don't think that this script was great. And also, I didn't think that I needed it to be. I mean, would it have been better if it was? Yes, but yes. I didn't dislike the movie just because there was no chemistry between the two of them.
No, I don't think their chemistry was necessary for the movie to work. The thing I didn't like, that I didn't find effective, was at the opening of the third act when there's a exposition dump.
Sure.
I hate that. You listeners know that I hate that. You also hate that.
Yeah. I mean, it was truly like once upon a time.
Right.
Let me tell you the tale.
Yeah, and we didn't need it. We were putting that together anyway.
Yeah, we got it.
They gave us enough visually that we could have gotten that without it.
Yeah.
And I didn't care for that at all.
Yeah.
I enjoyed trying to piece together what was happening at the beginning from what we got.
Sure.
I liked her visions. I think, the beginning of it set us up for all of that. So the visions later, while they were weird, they still made sense. And I don't know. I feel like I think that maybe it would have been better if they had given us a little bit more time, since it does take so long to ramp up, because it takes a long time to ramp up, to show us what Liz is like before weird stuff happens, get more of a sense of her personality. I think that the actress does a great job of working with what she's given, but I think they could have given her more screenplay-wise to get more of her personality out before we see her just reacting to stuff.
Sure.
Because there are a lot of scenes that get maybe a little bit repetitive in the middle of her investigating sounds, having a vision, passing out, waking up, that they could have maybe cut a couple of those and had a little bit more before things were weird.
Right. And also I think that would, make you care about that character a little bit more too, because as it was, we only got this whole movie's in 2 days.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
Yeah,
2 days of their life.
Just the weekend. I would probably put up with him to be able to stay at that cabin. You wouldn't get me off that bench seat. I would read on that bench seat.
Especially if he has to go to the hospital. Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'll see you never. I don't care. This, to me...
Spoken like a true gay person. Whatever. You have to go. Bye, boy.
This one felt closer thematically to Gretel and Hansel, which is another one that he didn't write. Has kind of similar themes. Also very fairy tale-ish. It also is thematically more similar to I'm the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House than to Longlegs or Blackcoat's Daughter or the Monkey. Which I don't necessarily mind. I like both of those movies. I get tired of the Oz Perkins backlash from everybody. Especially film, like, you know, letterboxed people.
Let him hear it, babe.
Like me. You didn't like Longlegs. I get it. I am sorry. We're all sorry that you feel like you were misled by Neon and their marketing campaign. It was not the movie that you thought it was going to be. It wasn't that bad of a movie. Regardless, you are mad because Neon built you up and said, it's going to be like this, and you got another Oz Perkins movie. And his movies are very similar to each other. They haven't changed that much over the course of his career. It's not like he's jumping the shark or selling out. He's making the same type of movies he's always made. Because Neon is mismarketing them, that's not his fault. It wasn't Trey Edward Schultz's fault when It Comes at Night was mismarketed. That was also a good movie that people didn't like because it wasn't what they expected it to be. His themes have always been similar. He's always been style over substance. His plots are weird and oblique and not fully fleshed out. That's how his movies are. I think it's really great that he's been heavily pushed and picked up by a studio, and I think we should be happy for him. To me, it's like when your band that you like, that is some scrappy upstart indie, gets picked up by a major label and people think, oh, they suck now. If they're still making the same kind of music, it's not their fault. You know? I'm happy that he's made 3 movies this year. I've liked him since his first movie came out, and he was somebody nobody heard of and nobody talked about. His movies have always been divisive. Most people hate I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. A lot of people don't like The Blackcoat's Daughter. Neon has just taken a chance on him and put their money behind him, and I think that's great. I think if you compare Longlegs to something like Oddity that came out last year, that one about the weird doll that was like a golem type figure, and the lady whose twin sister was killed by her husband. Do you remember that? Well, they both have pretty silly plots. If you compare the plot of Longlegs to the plot of Oddity, they're both pretty silly when you talk them out. And don't totally make sense when you try to piece everything together. But everybody said, oh, Oddity was this under-the-radar gem, and Longlegs was a piece of shit. And I found them to be of very similar quality.
And I also saw the movie.
So that's my rant about Oz Perkins. I think everyone's too hard on him. I think his movies are very creative and cool looking. And we all know historically how I feel about style over substance. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of cool stuff that was creepy and effective visually in this. And
some new stuff.
Some stuff I've never seen. The creature design was very disturbing and very effective, in my opinion. And yeah, the story didn't totally coalesce, but I don't mind what is basically just a fairy tale-like story without a lot of allegorical underpinnings to it. It's just kind of a fairy tale.
Right.
And yes, there's stuff about, you know, women being screwed over by men, but a lot of his movies are like that, and that's just life.
I still want to know about the ring.
Remember that scene with the two Minka's? That was weird. Minka was the model girlfriend that the cousin brings over.
Yeah.
Do you remember that weird scene? I really liked that. That was so weird.
The
Where
one
there's,
that was like sad and old and little, and the other one that's just her and
like a weird miniature version of
Yeah.
her for no reason? What? And I like the musical choices in this. They use Peggy Lee. It was Peggy Lee, I checked.
oh good.
And they use Peggy Lee, I don't want to play at your house, which works real nice.
Yeah.
And also made me think of Oz Perkins's lineage, because his dad, Anthony Perkins, was also a recording artist in addition to being an actor like Peggy Lee, and had songs out at the same time that were similar, which I usually like to find little connections like that.
Yeah.
Did you find this creepy?
Yeah. I definitely found it creepy.
Did you think the ending was satisfying?
Yeah. I don't mind a fairy tale at all. Like, I got it. I picked up what you're putting down, and I am happy with it. Like you said 1,000 times, I thought it was very pretty. I think that there were some parts of it that I was just like, with the amount of explaining you did, why that, though? Which I'll get into when we're spoily.
That's fair.
But overall, I very much liked it.
You did, and you'd
Yeah.
recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the theater.
Yeah.
If you can.
I like it in the theater if you can make it out there to find it before it goes away.
Go this week before Friday. Well, especially also because Wicked's now out, and it's probably on 3 screens at every theater, so they probably had to bump it.
Yeah.
But what do you think you'd rate it?
I'd give it a solid 4.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I'm probably going to go 3.5. As much as I liked how it looked and the performance by the lead, I hated that they explained it so explicitly.
Sure.
But I also recommend it, and if you can see it in the theater, I think you should.
Spoilers.
Spoiler time.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Once upon a time,
Once upon a time.
this kid finds a naked lady who's pregnant who looks just like Liz in olden times.
She's dancing in the moonlight.
That's right. And so he shoots her, naturally, because that's what you do.
Because it's my grandpa's land.
And it's like that fairy tale where the guy saves the fish and the fish grants him wishes.
Right.
So he spares this lady and she grants him eternal life. But he has to feed her.
Right.
And I guess he's giving her children? That's what those women are her children then?
No, I think she had already given birth because they walked into the barn and she had already given birth. So I think the like multi-faced monster was her child, and also all of the women.
Okay, so she just eats them.
Yeah,
And then they are her.
the ghost babies.
Okay. So Liz finds this out because she finds an old picture of him from olden times, and it's him, Malcolm, and some family. And
right.
She saw the woman in visions.
Yeah.
And so she figures it out, and then he just tells her, which... And the boy is with someone else, and we presume that's the cousin, and the cousin also has this arrangement.
Right.
So,
Honestly, don't think it's that bad of an arrangement. You want eternal life, you only have to kill someone every, 15 years or so? Not that bad. He doesn't even have to do the killing. He just has to lead him into the woods.
and then have something to do.
Yeah.
And have to go for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
For eternal life. I mean, he's been doing it for 200 years.
It doesn't seem to bother him.
No.
And he keeps little...
Little boxes.
like a creep of all the women, and writes their names with quotes. Like they're the vet's office, which was very insulting.
Quote, unquote, Liz.
Right.
Yeah, there was a box from 89, 2004, 2017, 2022. of
Okay.
what they showed us. And then there was more boxes on the side. But I think he's been doing it for 200 years. So I don't think there's... I think it's like every 15-ish years.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose it's not too bad. Not too bad of a arrangement.
I think that the cousin should probably put in more work if he's living in the cabin. But whatever, that's neither here nor there.
So he tells her all of this and gets her ready to be whatever. But it's not for nothing that she looks just like the original mother.
Right.
And they see something in her, some kind of... Also, the chocolate cake makes her see these visions, I'm pretty sure. But is also meant to, like, prepare her for... to be eaten.
With his exposition, he said, like, just one bite will paralyze her. But she ate all of it, and something went awry with the amount that she ate, so she felt like she was on mushrooms, but, like, wasn't paralyzed, but, like, did have less use of her body.
It seemed like it.
Yeah. There was that one scene
Where
where
she doesn't move.
she can't, she's not moving, and he's telling her that he has to go back into the city.
Which I thought was weird because a single tear, like, tracks down her face. And I thought it was because she was sad he was leaving, and I didn't understand that. But Kay explained that it was probably because she couldn't move.
Right. It's the only thing that she could convey.
Exertion. What about the scene where Malcolm leaves her, she's by herself, and Darren, the cousin, comes over, and he's, like, stalking through the house with the butcher knife. Is he thinking, oh, I'm going to take care of this, she should already be dead?
He definitely thinks she already should be dead because he was surprised that she was at the door to greet him at all.
Right.
And then the movie does say it twice to us as well. He doesn't think that I should even be alive? What the fuck's with that? Like on the voice recording, and then once he gets home, then she says it again. Yeah, we got it. We got it. He doesn't think you should be alive. Got it. Anyways.
See, again, that's not very good writing.
Right. Yeah, I got it just by the door interaction. You didn't have to say it on the voicemail and then say it also in person.
Right.
Got it. But what was the question?
Was my reading of it correct that he was trying to get her? Then what happens to him? They get him, right? I think they get him.
I don't remember what happens to him. I don't know why his freaking watch is in the garbage disposal.
I think they did something to him, and that's all she finds. But I don't understand why. I think that they were getting ready to make this move on both of the guys because she came and she symbolized something
Mother's
to
back.
them. Yeah.
Sure.
And so they wanted to get rid of him, and then... So he leaves her to be whatever they do to her.
Sure.
And instead of doing it to her, they do it to him.
Right. And then they have him tied up.
And he's aged rapidly.
And he's 200, apparently.
Yeah, he leaves her, and she's screaming and screaming. And there's this amazing visual of her, the original lady's child, who has these crazy, like many faces from He-Man, has a bunch of faces all around. And it's a really neat visual effect.
Yeah, it looked really cool. And then some of the other ghosty friends have ridiculously long hair, and that's why you've seen a strand falling from the like rafters every now and then, and one has a really long neck, but also sometimes a really long torso when she's climbing around.
And we don't know why, but that's okay.
But that's fine. And then this is when I was like, hell yeah, haunt his ass. Like I didn't even consider that they were going to kill him. I just was like, well, I mean, he could see the little ghost. Well, he said like, oh, is that how they present themselves to you as women? They're not women. I've known them for years and years. But like, he can still see them. So fucking haunt his ass.
Yeah.
Great. But
that's not what happens. He like goes to bed with her screaming and is thinking like, okay, this will be over when I wake up. But when he wakes up, he's old.
Yeah.
Very old.
And tied up upside down in
the
a tree.
woods.
And then they put his face in
a big jar of honey.
Honey vat?
Yeah.
I would like that explained to me. Where was that in the fairy tale?
They must have used it for something because they took the mother's head out of the honey.
Right.
Or the last person's head. We don't really know.
I had just assumed it was mother because it had
She had a gunshot wound.
bullet. Yeah.
But it could have just been the last person.
Making room for new head.
And they were making room. But the idea is that she's going to be in charge now.
Right. And she had the mother's crazy eyes.
Yes.
But none of the other ghosties do, so is she not dead?
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe she gets to be the one that lives for
Oh.
ever now.
Great.
Maybe.
Good job, Liz.
So it ultimately starts off as a Cabin in the Woods movie, a Bluebeard movie. Bluebeard, the story of Bluebeard being the guy who kills all his wives and he has that locked room and whatever. So it starts out being that and ends up being a good for her movie. And I, for one, am always pleased when they turn out that way.
Good for her.
Good for her.
Good for her.
So yeah, it's slight, but I like it. I like it about as well as I liked Longlegs, I would say.
And you know what? She's going to make friends with those ghosties, and she can get rid of Maggie, who is being a real bitch. The whole movie.
Which one was Maggie? Oh, her
just
friend.
on her phone.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Why do we assume the guy has a wife and kids?
Yeah. What, you think your friend's not good enough to be the only love?
Yeah, she's only a side piece.
You think she's only a side piece then, huh?
For all we know, this guy does have a wife and kids at home.
Good for her.
Anyway, good for her. So that's what we think about Keeper.
Go watch it.
Yeah. We enjoyed it. Sorry about the Oz Perkins hate. I don't think he deserves it. Let me rank them, since I have done that with all the other ones. Blackcoat's Daughter's still number 1.
You literally ranked them last night. What's happening?
Well,
Are you changing your mind?
I'm not sure. Geez, I don't know. I think I would put Blackcoat's Daughter at number 1. And then Longlegs. And then I'm the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. And then this one. And then Gretel and Hansel. And then the monkey. I think. Or maybe the monkey and then Gretel and Hansel. But I like all of his movies.
Grand.
So, what have you been reading?
Oh, I don't even know.
You don't even know?
I don't even know. Let's see.
Tell us.
You go first.
I haven't been reading shit. I've been reading The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, which is not horror, but is for our book club. And I have already read it once, and I love it. And I'm loving it again. And we saw a copy of it at a book fair yesterday, and it was a really nice copy. And the one I have is the Oprah's Book Club version. And I was like, ooh, how much is that? $1,200, ladies and gentlemen.
$1,200. Oh, the last book that I finished, well, technically the second to last book that I finished, was called Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang. And that is about COVID. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be ready for a COVID pandemic situation, but I do love it. I do recommend it. It's by Kylie Lee Baker. And it's about, like, this girl... excuse me, this girl who lives in Chinatown, and she is like a crime scene cleanup like person with 2 other Chinese kids around the same age as her, and it's fucking COVID, and they're in New York City, and so everyone's calling them bat eaters and like blaming them for the coronavirus and things like that. And then it's just like, wow, this is really strange. A bunch of these murder scene, or a bunch of these cleanup scenes that we're doing are all like Asian women. That's strange. And they talk to a reporter and everything gets brushed under the rug, but there is a serial killer out there. Like, it's great.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Would you call it more of a thriller?
Yeah, for sure. It's not that much of a whodunit because it's not like you know the character, you know, but yeah, there's kind of some ghosty apparitions that are pointing them along the way.
Okay.
Yeah, but a really gross, gruesome subway death.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Head splatter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Read it.
And how many books are you at right now?
94.
94.
94 books for
Wow.
this year.
We met a lady at the book fair yesterday at the brewery who had read 80 books and not listened to them, but actually read them.
Yeah, crazy.
And my mom's in the 90s now, too, but she's also retired. This lady has a job, so I was really impressed.
Yeah. It's that serving life. You don't have to work 40 hours a week.
Yeah, that's
I miss
true.
it.
That's true. Think about all that you get done, but then you wouldn't be listening as much.
That's true. I listen all day, every day at work.
Right. So, for our next movie,
Yeah.
we are going to be reviewing a rental at home. This one is $6.99. It is called Queens of the Dead. This is a movie by Tina Romero, daughter of George Romero, who made Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, blah, blah, blah.
Queens of the Dead.
Queens of the Dead is about a gay bar and the zombie apocalypse.
Yas, Queen.
And it has Katie O'Brien from Love Lives Bleeding. And I don't really know who else is in it, but it looks good, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do next time.
We love camp.
Camp. A bit of camp, guys. So we hope that you'll watch that. Again, that is a rental. But still a home one.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably do a Netflix movie for our next one, so... Unless something really interesting comes out in theaters before then. So...
Sew your buttons.
If you haven't reviewed our podcast, please do so. On your listening platform of choice, we'd sure love another review. Definitely recommend movies to us for horror homework.
This
also
is your
for
reminder.
Books. Any book recommendations you've got. If you would like to communicate with us, you may do so at thebloodlustpodcast@gmail.com. That's our email address. You can make comments on our website, thebloodlust.net. Also, we only have 100 episodes on most podcast platforms, but if you go on our website, all of them are available. We're also on Facebook and Instagram and Threads. Just look for The Bloodlust. Kay, thank you for joining me.
I got the bloodlust.
Me too!
Kill.
I want to kill! Let's kill! Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, listeners, for listening. We hope you have a lovely Thanksgiving if you're in the United States. If not, have a lovely normal week. Join us next time for Queens of the Dead. Until then, this has been episode 290. I have been Amy.
I'm Kay.
Thank you, good night.
And hail Satan.
Praise him!
Praise him.